Happy Friday, guys. Welcome into PuckTime. We've got best bets for you, sides, totals, maybe a few props in there as well. Myself, Brian Leonard, and a quick little segment with Carmine Bianco. He couldn't skip out on the 6 and 60 segment. He's got picks for you guys for the Saturday slate in the NHL. Only 2 games to go over. It'll be a quick PuckTime show with myself and Brian, but we got to get Carmine involved. He's got the 6 and 60. Usually we have it at the end of the show. He's going to join us right off the bat. He's got some fun to get to. He's got 6 picks for you guys for Saturday's slate. So we're going in reverse order. We're going to go to Carmine for 6 picks for Saturday's slate. And then Brian and I will go over quickly the 2 games for the NHL for Friday night. Let's bring him in. Mr. CB, Carmine Bianco. What's up, Carm?
Hey guys, how's it going? Andrew, thank you very much. And Brian, for allowing me to do the 6 and 60 now instead at the end of the show. I'm in my hotel in Buffalo, right by KeyBank Center, and there is a beer with my name on it in a bar, and I need to get to it before it gets warm. So thanks to both you guys. Really do appreciate it, and Brian for doing double duty. But this is your 6 and 60, 5-1 last week, 19-5 the last 4 weeks of the 6 and 60. Let's go for a 6-0 Saturday, guys, and away we go. Anaheim and Edmonton. This is a battle for the Pacific title. Give me Edmonton money line in this one. Minnesota and Boston. Love the way the Wild are playing right now. I am taking the Wild to go into Boston and beat them. Minnesota on the money line. Devils and Canes. Canes trying to fend off the Buffalo Sabres for the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They'll take care of the Devils. We're going to take them in regulation instead. San Jose and Columbus. Columbus losers to Montreal last night. They will get the win in regulation against San Jose, who is leaking oil at the moment. Seattle and Buffalo. There's going to be goals in this game. The Sabres will be on the second of a back-to-back. Take over 6 in that one. And finally, the Jets and the Avs. Avs took care of the Jets the night before. They'll take care of them again at home. Take the Avs in regulation. That is your 6 and 60.
Great stuff, Carm. Looking ahead to Saturday, but you're going to have fun at the game of the night tonight, Red Wings and Sabres. Have a good night, Carm. We'll see you later, man.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, great stuff there with Carm, and what a game he's going to go to with Johnny and his wife and his buddy and Carmine's buddy Joe. They're going to have a fantastic time. All right, let's bring Brian back in here. We had to get that out of the way, but he's got 6 picks. He's already ahead of us, Brian. I don't know about you. I have not handicapped the full Saturday slate quite yet, but how are you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing well. We've got baseball season now. We've got hockey. Everything's going on. Obviously, the Sweet 16, big day in college basketball. So I'm with you. If we can make this shorter, that gives us more time to search for more winners in other sports. So yeah, I just wish there'd be more baseball during the day. They blew that one today. They got it scheduled against the tournament and the hockey and everything. At least the NHL decided, hey, there's only 2 games today. They're always going to watch them anyway. So
yes, absolutely. I was hoping for some day baseball as well, yeah. Brian. I will recap. I hit my LA over 3.5 goals yesterday. I was moving yesterday, so I sent that out a little bit later, but we hit it with the empty net. It was 3-0, pure dominance, but you know I love my team totals. So they pulled the goalie with 5 minutes to go. So I said, okay, you have to hit this for me. So 6-0 run with hockey. We'll try and keep that going. And 1-1 baseball day, but we hit the Mariners over 3.5 runs. And man, the best part about team totals when they work, they don't even have to win. They do not even have to win the ball game as long as you get to my lucky number of 4. So, Brian, I hope you had a great day yesterday. I was complaining to you before the show. My one loss was a first 5 innings play where my team didn't allow 1 run, but they didn't score 1 run either. So that can be a little bit frustrating. But any takeaways for you in hockey or baseball? We'll go both sports.
Yeah, actually, I thought I was going to sweep the board in hockey last night. I had the Kings as my top play. Also had another winner, Minnesota, and I had the under in the Las Vegas game. and they tied it up. And of course, when it's a 6.5 and you're going to overtime, can't get a half of a goal. So I lost that one in overtime. Baseball didn't go so well. I went 0-3, but 2 of them were 1%. Starting off slow in baseball, just don't want to get too excited about it and force anything right now. Plus, as I mentioned, a lot of people right now, that's all they care about is basketball, college basketball. So I've got a 5% up in college basketball today. So really excited about today's card. Best
of luck, Brian. Guys, go grab that play. 5% college basketball from Brian. WC.buzz/BL. Let's do it here, Brian. Let's get right after it here. We've got the game that Carmine is going to be at and have a fantastic time. Red Wings and the Sabres. Sabres off a loss here. -155 overnight number, +130 for the Dogs in this one. Look, real simple. We always say must win does not mean will win. And the Red Wings, it's funny because look, I was betting against them for a while throughout the year when they were winning. And then, of course, they finally start losing some games. And I'm thinking, are they really going to miss the playoffs? So there's no hyperbole here. This is pretty much a win or go home type of game for the Red Wings. And unfortunately for them, it's against Buffalo. But we call it Freaky Friday for a reason, Brian. Can we see the upset here? Can the Dog win this game?
Well, right now, Detroit's sitting in 10th place in the East. They've got 84 points in 71 games. But the Islanders sit in 8th with 3 points more with two more games. So they're right in it. But you're right. They need to turn it around. They've gone 3-5-2 the last 10 games, losing the last 2. Buffalo's actually lost 2 straight games, both in overtime. And they're now tied with Carolina for the lead in the East. And they played an extra game. So it's an important game for both these teams. And I'm glad this one is because the other game on today's card does not have any postseason aspirations for either one of those teams. But, you take a look at Detroit. They've had a really good schedule. They haven't played since Tuesday. They lost that game at home to Ottawa 3-2. In fact, they've lost 2 straight games. They lost to Buffalo at home also on Saturday. But they've only played 1 game the last 5 days. I think that gives them a pretty solid advantage here against Buffalo. Now, they do have to go back home and play Philadelphia tomorrow. But having 1 game the last 4 days at this time of the season, I think is a big advantage for them. I mentioned Buffalo. That big winning streak was snapped. They've still been great. They lost to Washington on the 12th and then come back after that and won 4 more games. So but then they lost back-to-back overtime games to Anaheim on Sunday and then to Boston yesterday. Had yesterday off, or 2 days ago, had yesterday off. Now they play Detroit and they have to host the Kraken. Now we've talked about division games, conference games being more important than any. And they do have a really hot goalie going today for Buffalo. The current line on this game, as we take a look at it here, is Buffalo in anywhere from 145 to 160. So it's a pretty good spread out there. I think there might be a little bit of value here on Detroit. You can get them come back at 137 is the best I see out there. Lean to Detroit here, but to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to get involved with either one of these games.
I don't think I will either with any official plays, Brian, but they're worth discussing, worth going over. And, I like what you said there about this Red Wings team and the goaltending and stuff. 2 good goalies out there. I was just doing a show quickly with good friend Jeff Dawson, and he does a lot of team totals like me too, and we both bet a lot of the over 3.5 when you can get even money or better plus money. And one thing we were both complaining about together, the reason why I bring this up, Brian, is that last night the Ottawa and Pittsburgh game, with about 14 minutes to go in the game, you could have called it that game was going to go to overtime. And it's a real problem in the NHL right now. And I'm sure all the guys in the chat, Colsey, Toby, Titans, Ice X, all these guys would agree with me that these teams are playing for the loser point, as we call it sometimes, right? Even if you go to overtime and you lose, you get that 1 point. So partly for that reason, it leads me to the under in this game. Two goalies that are playing reasonably well. And people talk about other sports that have things that need to be fixed. I think it's a problem that needs to be fixed in the NHL, Brian, that when there's 10 minutes to go in a game and it's 2-2, that game is going to finish 3-2 in overtime because both teams are going to get 1 point at least. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think what they should do is just go to a full overtime, and then if it's not decided, then do the shootouts or whatever. Full regular overtime, not the 3-on-3. As much as I love the 3-on-3, I loved it when it came out, but now possession of the puck is so important. It's boring now. It's not like it was earlier. I agree. You take a look at a team like Vegas. They go to overtime last night. We know they suck in overtime. They're terrible in overtime, terrible in shootouts. And once again, they lose in overtime, and you shouldn't be rewarded for losing a game. I don't care if it's in overtime or not. Vegas has got less wins than just about anybody in regulation on the season, and yet they're 88% chance to make the playoffs because they're not losing in regulation. So yeah, something needs to be changed here.
Because you've got so many teams that accumulate these points that are so good at getting to overtime. And I get it, because I'll be the first one to tell you. And as a Canadian where they lost in the Olympics, 3-on-3 overtime sucks. But you shouldn't just, like we keep joking around about, you can't just hold hands when there's 8 minutes to go and say, let's all just shake hands here and agree that we're both going to get a point. It just doesn't make any sense, really. So I lean towards the under. Brian says, hey, look, and I agree with you. If we're going to play something, let's play the dog here. And it's going to be Carmine versus Johnny in this one. And, well, I'd rather cheer for the guy that's signing my checks and not for my co-host. So I'll take Johnny's side in this one.
We got to figure out who Rick Alec likes because he's the actual one that does the payroll. So, yeah.
That is true. That is true. I think Rick probably remains neutral. We got to figure out who his teams are. He doesn't want to get involved. He probably doesn't want to get involved with it. So just 2 games, as we mentioned here. Any questions you guys have in the chat? Handful of you guys here. Feel free to mention them. But Brian, let's keep it going, brother. Chicago and New York. Short and simple. I said to you yesterday on the show, and I respected your answer, where you said, "Hey, look, it's a game-by-game basis for me with these games." But this is a perfect example of what I was pretty much asking you about. Like, I'm on a 6-0 run in hockey right now. Do I want to put that run at risk with 2 bozo teams like this that aren't even close to the playoffs, right? That's the question. Because this, to me, is the prototypical Andrew over 3.5 spot for New York. This is a typical spot where I would look at the Rangers. They're playing a backup goalie. They're getting a tired Chicago team. They're in bounce back mode, so to speak. Chicago, where were the numbers here? Let's see. Arvid Soderblom, expected goals against for him in the last 5 games. Get this, Brian. 5.4 goals, expected goals against for him. So he's giving up 3.3 goals per game, expected goals 5.4. I mean, he's supposed to be getting lit up. And by the way, the last 5 games, my advanced numbers tell me Chicago's the worst defensive team in the league. So everything in my soul tells me the Rangers team totals the play. I just don't know if I want to bet these 2 teams that are nowhere close to a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, if you take a look at the current lines, you can lay as high as 190 at Caesars right now on the Rangers. The New York Rangers at home. I don't want part of the Rangers at home here. They're on a great run. They're playing their best hockey of the season, no doubt. They're being very physical, which gives them an advantage against a team playing the second game of a back-to-back, I believe. And they've been taking a lot of shots on goal. Totally different than what they had earlier in the season, other than that game the other day when they had 4 shots on goal through the first 2 periods. But their team scoring very well right now. They're one of the best scoring teams in the last 20 games or so. And you like the way they're playing, but I don't want to lay that number. We've already seen at home they've been so bad this year. And as good as the Rangers have been, and you talked about the Chicago defense, they might not be a very good defensive team. but they're on a great run on the power kill or the penalty kill. So you've got one team doing very well on the power play, one team doing doing really well on the penalty kill. It leaves me sitting on the side in this game. And I think the Rangers are going to win. I really do. I just don't want to lay that number. It's just too high for a team that's really struggled in this building. And, even though Chicago played last night, take a look at the Rangers schedule. This will be their fourth game in 6 days. They played Winnipeg, go to overtime. That's a 1-goal game. They play Ottawa, lose that game by a goal. Then they play go to Toronto, lose that game by a goal. So these are all been really tight contested games. 4 games in 6 days. I'm not laying that number with the Rangers. If I play anything at all, I lean with Chicago. But luckily, there's other sports today, and we don't have to play anything.
That is the best part about it. And it is a busy, busy day in the world of sports. Look, I have so far just one baseball play, Brian, and what you said at the beginning of the show is true. There's more time for us to get to work. Look, from a sales perspective and people visiting the website, it's nice to get plays and packages up early. We'll try to do so, but we're also deep in our work. We're looking at sources, looking at our data, and we're taking a look at these games. And to your point, the baseball season's a long season. You want to take your time. So you got a big 5%, so I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit you might as well just go for a walk, go out for a beer, go for lunch. You're probably just waiting for this game to get going, whatever your game is. But 5% play for Brian. I've looked at just 2 games so far. I got to keep handicapping the Saturday slate. For one of the basketball games tomorrow, I may have a big play. Just waiting on consensus numbers. But that's about it for me, Brian. 6-0 NHL run. Pretty excited about that. But anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, I'll continue to win in every sport, although I did have a losing day yesterday in baseball. Very small. I had a couple of 1%. And I did have the Angels in that game, but I had them in the first half. So 2 innings later, they win. And who would have known betting this Angels bullpen actually would have won a game? In fact, in baseball, we were just talking on the baseball show the other day, and I know it's a hockey show here, but the teams that nobody likes, the St. Louis Cardinals, a lot of these bad teams did really well yesterday, except for the White Sox, which is one of the teams that I used. So, it's baseball. It's 162 games. You're going to have wins and losses from bad teams, and I'm going to have another video up. We did play the Cleveland Guardians on my video yesterday. I've been putting out daily baseball. That was a nice underdog winner for us. So we'll have another one of those up in just a few minutes. And yeah, it's real excited about the card today. A full NBA card, a really nice NBA card. I'm still working on that. And I do have 2 plays up in college basketball today. And one of them is the 5% play.
Look, the 3% are great. The 4% are great. And we always say the 5% are only 1% more than a 4. But we don't release them unless we love them. So best of luck to you with that, Brian. And guys, go check it out, wt.buzz/BL. Again, for me, we got that deal going at WagerTalk. I want you guys to know I'm not just a hockey guy. In the summer, I handicap CFL, Canadian football, and I handicap MLB, Major League Baseball. So I got a deal right now. It's a BOGO. It's one package at my page to get both sports. I'll get you set. CFL is a long year. June, July, August, September, October, November. I mean, this goes forever. So you're going to get all my CFL and every MLB pick all in one package. And if you want a short term for Brian and for myself, of course, you guys check out that deal. It's still available. Can't believe it's still available, Brian. 6 days for the price of 3. So you got to love that. It's hard to argue with. And just to make Carmine happy with us here, we'll throw this up on the screen just one more time for Carm. Here's a visual of the 6 and 60. Hats off to Carm for doing some work ahead of time for the Saturday slate. Edmonton, Minnesota, Carolina, reg, Columbus, reg, over 6, Buffalo, Seattle, and Colorado to get the job done. All right, we might have just set a record. Dan Alexander is going to love us today. Same thing for Chris Allen. 1943 on the clock here, Brian. Hope you have a great weekend, man. I'm so happy to be moved into my new spot. I'm going to be decorating the walls, and what better of a night to be moved into a new place than March Madness, unbelievable games, baseball, hockey. I'm not leaving my house for like 5 days. I'm going to be just here taking it easy. So again, best of luck to you tonight, Brian. Look forward to talking baseball with you all throughout the season, and NHL coming down to the wire. 10 games left for a lot of these teams. Thanks for watching, guys. Do us a favor, hit the like button. It really does help us out. All the best. We'll see you next time.